Hello everyone, my name is Malavika Rajkumar. I am the content lead of Nyaya. Today we will be discussing about passports. You can let me know if you have any doubts on the subject, but we will be discussing the common procedures for passports in India. So, a passport is an official document issued by the government of India so that you are able to travel easily, but and easily internationally, I mean, out of India. And it also serves as a proof of identification. So, for example, let's say you are applying for an Aadhaar card, you can definitely show your passport as proof of residence, as proof of identification, etc. Now, the Ministry of External Affairs issues passports through the Central Passport Organization. So they have these passport offices, passport seva kendras, and passport seva kendras in post offices. So you can go to these three offices if you want to apply for a passport. Now, there are three kinds of passport: official, diplomatic, and ordinary. Now, as the term suggests, official passports are for government servants and other persons authorized by the government, and they have a gray cover. While diplomatic passports are issued to foreigners, members of the judiciary, etc., and like other members of the government that are designated to work with India, etc. And ordinary passports are passports which you and I have. They have a blue cover, and it is used commonly and issued to nationals of India when they want to travel. So a validity of a passport in India is for 10 years. And if your passport is a India Bangladesh specific passport, then the validity is for 3 years. And if your passport is a India Sri Lanka passport, then the validity is for 4 years. But remember that ordinary passports, which you and I would have, we can only have one passport at a time. We cannot hold two passports with our names and our details. That is illegal under the law, and you may be punished. So there are some precautions you should take when you have a passport. All these precautions are government guidelines and they're also within the law. So you cannot send your passport out of the country. Secondly, you cannot let someone who's not authorized to use your passport use it. For example, you can't give your passport to your friend and expect him to travel using that passport. Then you are personally responsible for the safety of your passport. That means, let's say you lose your passport or you damage your passport, it is your responsibility to immediately notify the passport authorities in the PSKs, which are the passport seva kendras, or the POs, which are the passport offices. Now, you cannot alter your password, which means you cannot do anything on your own, change the address details, etc. You cannot do any of this. And if your children's particulars, your children's details are included in your passport, then they cannot travel alone. So after they cross the age of 15, they have to they have to apply for a passport themselves in their names, and the passport office will issue them passports. So let's say you have a minor child and the child's details are included in your passport, the child cannot travel alone. So if you violate any of this, then under the law, you are punished with jail time between 3 months and 2 years, or a fine between 500 and 5,000 rupees. So you should be careful and take these precautions. If you let someone else use your passport, it is a crime, and you may have to face jail time up to 2 years or be fined up to 5,000. And if you do it again, then in the subsequent punishment, the jail time is higher, which is 4 years, and you may be fined up to rupees 10,000. Now, there are many penalties in relation to passport, meaning there are many situations which if you do, you may be punished under the law, and you can be punished between 1 year and 5 years for the situations that I'm going to mention, and you may even be fined from 10,000 to 50,000 rupees. Now, if you travel internationally without a valid passport, let's say you're holding a forged one, then it is a crime and you will be punished. If you provide any false information or you don't disclose any information asked by the passport seva kendras in order to get the passport, then you are committing a crime and you may be punished. Now, let's say that for example, if a government official is asking you to submit the passport and you don't do this, then you are violating orders and there's a chance that you may get in trouble. If you use someone else's passport to travel, or you let someone else use your passport to travel, both these situations are punishable. And if you help anyone travel using someone else's passport, or you help anyone forge information in their passport, or help someone to include false information, all these are also punishable. So helping someone do any of these crimes is also a crime in India. Now, there are some important points to note for OCIs. OCIs are overseas citizens of India. If you see a previous video, I've gone into detail about OCIs and how PIOs, which are persons of Indian origins, now have to apply for OCI cards, and that everyone is now being moved under the bracket of OCI. There are some things that need to be highlighted with respect to OCIs and passports. Now, before, when OCI persons used to travel, let's say you're a foreigner who has a OCI card because you have some work in India. Let's say that you were traveling to India. There used to be a U sticker on the passport, on the foreign passport of the OCI card holder. But according to immigration now, and according to the information on Ministry of External Affairs, the authorities need not actually insist on production of the foreign passport containing the U letter. Now, what they ask for is that the immigration clearance be given based on a valid passport without the U symbol and an OCI card, which you have to apply for. So let's say that the OCI person, let's say the foreigner, let's say the Indian person has an OCI card and he applies for citizenship in another country. What happens then? Now, let's say that he is getting citizenship in another country, except Pakistan and Bangladesh. That person will also be allowed to enter and exit India while traveling flights, etc., on the basis of the new passport that's issued by that country and the OCI registration certificate or OCI card, which would have details of the new country you have registered with. Now, let's say that in situations where diplomatic or official passports are issued, now OCIs and PIO cards are not issued to people who have diplomatic status, meaning like if they are foreign diplomats or they're family members of foreign diplomats. But if these foreigners actually hold a valid ordinary passport with valid OCI cards, that's enough. There's no need to show a diplomatic passport here. Just the passport and the OCI card would be enough. Now let's look at how to get a new passport, reissue a passport, and update a passport. Now, as the term suggests, getting a new passport means you're applying fresh. Updating a passport means you're updating certain details in your passport. It can be spelling errors, it can be detail changes, it can be demographic changes, like if you change your address, if you change your name, like after marriage you've changed your name and you want to change it in the passport. All this can be done. When it comes to reissue, by reissue it means that the passport is issued to you again. Let's say that you've damaged or lost your passport, then it is reissued to you because your details are already with the passport authorities. Now, the procedure for new passport, updating passport, and reissue are the same. So let's look at the online procedure first, and then we'll go on to the offline procedure. In the online procedure for application of a passport, there are two ways. One is an online form and second is an e-form. Now, for the online form submission, you have to first go to the Passport Seva portal. You'll Google this, you'll be able to get this. You have to first log in the Passport Seva portal, where you will be able to download a e-form for fresh or reissue of passport. And that is the online form. That means you're going online and you're downloading the form. Then there's another form which is called e-form submission, which is the form is integrated within the platform itself. So you can register on the Passport Seva portal, log in to this using your details. I'm sure you'll have to create a registration for yourself. Then click on apply for fresh passport or reissue of passport and fill in the details on the website itself. Now that is the e-form submission. Now step 2 is, which is basically after this, when you decide whether you want to go online or e-format. Now, in online form submission, let's say that you're actually going to a form, downloading it, you will have to fill all the details, and then an XML file will be generated, which you have to upload back, called through a portal called Upload eForm. So the eForm submission, basically there will be a option that will come to you. So after you fill in your details, you'll have to upload it back onto the database. Now, then after that, you have to click pay and schedule appointment, by which you will be directed to a Passport Seva Kendra. You will be able to schedule an appointment there. And there's also an option on the Passport Seva portal website where you can find your nearest Passport Seva Kendra or passport office or postal passport service. So you can actually go put in your district and find it out. Now, after you pay the money, which there are online payment methods that are there, starting from debit card to internet banking, etc. Now, you have to take a print of the application form, which will contain the application reference number or the appointment number. And using this number, you will have to go to the Passport Seva Kendra, which was decided in the step before. And when you go to the Passport Seva Kendra, they will verify your documents. So the documents are verified on the basis of whether you are a minor, which means below the age of 18, whether you are an adult, which means above the age of 18, and whether you're a senior citizen, which means above the age of 65. Now, they'll also look at whether you fall in the non-ECR category. So ECR means immigration check not required, which means that generally if you've passed class 10th, your passport falls under the non-ECR category. Then they'll also, for example, if you go to apply for reissuing the passport, they'll ask you the reason for reissuing it. So you can tell them that you've lost it or it's been damaged, etc. Now, finger impressions and photos will also be taken when you go to the PSKs, and after that, police verification is done. Now, police verification is a process where your permanent address is verified, because in a passport, you have to put in your permanent address. And after that comes through, you can track your application online, and the passport will be sent to the permanent address that you had written in the application form. Now, I'm sure you have a question on how to find the passport centers. Like, where do you go? Like, where do you go to actually do this? So, passport offices, like I mentioned, are the main offices that are vested with the authority to issue the passport. So, they also have the power to revoke it, which means take it back, and they can impound the passport to keep it with them also if you actually don't take precautions or you commit any crime. Now, all these passport offices have the duty of, for example, dispatching passport, liaisoning with the Ministry of External Affairs, COPS. Then they also attend to legal cases, RTIs. You can file an RTI to the passport office, etc. So this is mainly what their function is. Under the passport office, you have a Passport Seva Kendra and you have post office Passport Seva Kendras. Now, these are extended arms of the passport office because these PSKs are available in districts within your state. There are a lot of Passport Seva Kendras that are around. These Kendras basically do the functioning of filling your application, listening to you, asking you reasons for reissue, etc. So a PSK or a post office PSK is where you actually have to go. Now, to find where your Passport Seva Kendra is, go to the portal www.portal2.passportindia.gov.in, and you will see find your PSK option where you can put in your district, put in your state, and you will get the appropriate place to go to. Now, let's say you're applying for your passport in person. What are the steps here? Now, to apply for a passport in person, you will have to download the application form online, again on the Passport Seva portal. Then on an A4 size paper, after you fill in all your details, you have to go to the district passport cell or to the Passport Seva Kendra for a nominal fee. Now, you can also go to the Passport Seva portal to find the nearest DPC, which is a district passport cell. You have to fill in the form and submit the required documents to the DPC. They will ask you things starting from proof of residence, from proof of identity, or you can give your Aadhaar here, you can give your PAN card here. Then a prescribed fee is also taken where you can pay online or in person. And let's say that you're submitting it in the form of a demand draft, which is one of the processes given on the website of the Passport Seva portal. Then you have to ensure that you write your name, date of birth, and date of submission of form behind the DD when you submit it. Now, after you pay, you will get an acknowledgement letter. You have to collect the acknowledgement letter, which will contain the file number, and you can use this file number to track the application of the track the status of the application online. Now, police verification step is common for both processes. So again, this may take a couple of days, mostly 2 to 3 days, where a police officer will show up at the permanent address that you've given, and then afterwards your passport will be delivered to you. Now, if you want any sort of additional help, then you should really go to the passportindia.gov.in website. You can file your grievances. You can call up the officers there. They have some numbers also that are given. You can contact them and let them know if you have any grievances. Now, let's go into what is Tatkal passport. Now, as the term suggests, and it's pretty common, Tatkal passport is issued to those people who give a application who want the passport in one day. So, or one day or as soon as possible. So, in this scheme, what happens is when you actually fill in the application form for Tatkal passport, again, when you go to the Passport Seva Kendras, the passport is dispatched in one day if police verification is not required. Otherwise, it takes around 3 days for the passport to come back to you. Now, to apply for a Tatkal passport, you'll have to follow the same procedure as I had mentioned while applying for a new passport. And in type of application, when you go to the Passport Seva portal, you will have to click in Tatkal when it comes to type of application, and then fill in the details for that and follow the same procedure as I mentioned. Now, there is one important point that I want to mention, and this is something which many people always have trouble with, and that is when you, for example, when you go to the online platform and let's say you want to cancel your passport scheduled date with the PSK. Let's say you had scheduled a date with the Passport Seva Kendra for the 14th of January and you want to reschedule it to 20th because of circumstances. You can reschedule it. But remember that in a year, you can only reschedule it twice. So from 14th, let's say you're rescheduling it to the 20th. From the 20th, let's say you're rescheduling it to the 5th of May. After that, you cannot reschedule it for the year. So this becomes a major impediment, but that is why it's important to know that rescheduling is not free in terms of the number of choices you have. There are only 2 choices you get to reschedule, and it's very important to know this. If you have any more doubts on passports, you can come to our website in the identification proof explainer that we have, where we've gone into detail for a lot of other stuff. Thank you. I hope you had a good session. Please drop in your comments here or come to our website and leave them on Ask Nyaya. We'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you.